initial breath. Be careful that it's not
more of the shoulders.
Because right now it's a little bit of this. Relax it to start. Yeah. So hands are up, but don't lift from here. Allow this to lift and allow this to just float freely. That's perfect. Okay.
Okay.
Beginning. Be careful that when you're essentially taking the left hand away, because it's not showing something specific, that it doesn't look like a decrescendo. There's a couple spots where that happened. Did you guys notice that? One of them was after the big crescendo that happens at the top of page 99, towards the end there. There was this, and then to show nothing, your hand went like this, which made it look like be quiet. So instead of bringing the hand away and showing this way, there's kind of two different things we could do. One, we could just put it down if it's not being used. And two, we call it butler position. It's just kind of here in front of you, right? So it's not showing anything. Yeah, exactly. Because that's clear that it's out of play, right? But if you do this, it looks like it's maybe trying to show them something.
What do you think I should do for like these? Because like I don't really know what to do with my left hand.
That's a great question. So everybody, we're looking at the bottom of that first page, the whole note that everyone has at measure 13, 14, 15, 16. Let's talk about it. With a whole note, what are your options as players and singers? What could you do on it?
You could just like,
What was that?
Like hairpin.
Yeah, you could do a hairpin. What else could you do on it? Just a held note. You're playing a held note in any of your music. You could crescendo on it. Obviously, you could decrescendo on it. What else could you potentially do with it?
Well, as a conductor, couldn't you just like you said, like just tap it out?
But the question is less what does the conductor do, and more what can the sound do?
There's got to be some growth, or like something.
Growth, decay, whatever, or maybe a change in tone. Like if we think about singers or instrumentalists in general, you could hold the tone and then sort of make it sound more full, adding vibrato,
or like
whatever.
Darker.
Or it could be a darker tone or a brighter tone, right? So in terms of then what the question is, what should the conductor do for a held note? It depends on what the sound is that you're looking for. So in that case, everybody looking at bottom of that first page, we're going in the melody at measure 13, which is in the alto voice. It's the end of a phrase before.
I kind of want it to fade out.
Fade out, perfect. So in that case, it's absolutely fair to do this with the left hand.
And then just tap a little bit.
And then just tap a little bit. So you're showing how much space is happening there, but you're not just sort of sitting there. So it's a little bit of this while the right hand gets smaller, smaller, smaller. Release. Ba-dee-da-da. Assuming you want to start it at an actual mezzo piano, and if you've ended at like a pianissimo, right? You can show a little change. So let's actually do that section, shall we? Maybe let's start a little before that.
Here.
Yeah, that's good. So this is measure 13, everybody. Let's start right on the downbeat. I know it's a strange place, but that's because of the kind of ways we want to be playing there. So downbeat of 13. Towards your body, but have a different hand position, right? That way, it's showing them it's not like we're cutting off or getting too soft or losing tone. It's being held, but coming in towards your body. So it's just another option. The other thing that we want to think about is what is the sound we're looking for on the release? Ba-dee-da-dee-da-dee, or is it dee? Right?
Yeah.
So be thinking about that as you're releasing the sound as well. How does your hand motion show how light that sound is when you release it? Okay? Good. Let's talk a couple of the stronger sections. So maybe going up to, I don't know, which loud part do you want to work on?
Somewhere in here.
Yeah. Okay, so everybody, let's take a look at the second page. We're going to start from...
We could do 21 on beat 2.
Yep, that sounds perfect. So measure 21, everybody, beat 2. And what is your dynamic marking in your mind for the crescendo that happens into 19, 20, 21, 22, and then again into 24 for the alto part?
So I would probably go like, since we're starting at mezzo piano here, and we crescendo a little, maybe like mezzo forte.
Mezzo forte?
Because then we crescendo to forte.
Okay, fine, great. So be showing what that looks like. Part of the, your typical gesture is a little bit on the wide side. So if you bring it in a little bit smaller for your mezzo piano, then when you want to be mezzo forte and you expand that kind of plane that you're conducting on, it won't have to feel like it's getting huge.
Also, just a question. I know you talked about it should feel like we're moving through like it's hard to move. Like I feel like when I do that, I like use a lot more of my elbows.
Interesting. Okay, well let's actually try something then. Just kind of press pause on this. Can you either put your arms completely straight or bend them but maintain the exact angle? So, but that takes a lot of control to maintain the angle and only move your shoulders. So you can do it with this instead. Yeah.
Okay.
So conduct like that for a little bit and just don't move your elbows. You guys don't have to play right now, but this is a good practice exercise in case you have trouble feeling that movement through space from your shoulders. Yeah, and just do a 4 pattern, down, don't move your elbows at all. Just totally straight arms. Can you even straighten them more? And just move from the shoulder. So if you're facing me for a second, it's down, in, out, up. It's all from the shoulders. Yeah, and now push through space with your shoulders. Now slowly bend your arms, but keep the shoulder motion the same. Push through space, and shoulder. Yeah, there you go. That's great.
Yeah, so much effort.
It is. Yeah,
I gotta.
Yeah, and so it will feel less like you're actually holding tension in your shoulders the more you practice it. You'll get used to what that gesture feels like, and you'll be able to do it where it looks like you're pushing through space, but you're actually not tensing any muscles. And that's kind of just gonna take some practice, I think.
Okay.
All right, let's do it from 22, 19, 20, 21, I mean.
Beat 2.
Beat 2. click was really.
It honestly
really
like helps a lot. It makes sense.
Yeah, and it looks very good and it's very clear for them. I think. Yeah, I think that was a lot better. Now, if we could change this, everybody, put your hands with your instrument if you can, or without your instrument, either way, so that your kind of stance is wide. Like your hands are pretty far away from your body, and you as well, like pretty darn far away. Now move it even farther. Feel what that feels like. It's kind of a lot of tension, right? Bring it in a little bit. Bring it in significantly more. And now bring it in so your hands are only like a couple inches from each other. Okay, now feel that whole range of motion. Yeah, beautiful. So in a space like this, not only are we thinking about how large the gesture is, but also where it fits on that kind of outward plane. For you, you tend to work pretty much a lot on this outward plane. So even when you're getting softer, it looks pretty wide, right? Like this, when it looks like this. If you were to do the same exact gesture, and you guys tell me if this looks different. Here being soft versus here being soft. Which one looks softer? The second one, right? So that's literally it. Don't change the size. The size is very good. The left hand, what it's doing is very good. It's just to come in a little bit more with your hands instead of always maintaining a wide frame. Okay, so can you do that same section again? Everything you just worked on was significantly better than the first time. Now also watch the frame. Okay. Same spot, everybody. 21.
Yeah. 21 beat 2.
It's good that you're moving because we don't have to be like this. But check if that movement is intentional or unintentional. I feel right now it's a little bit disconnected.
So like my head, or is it my body?
Your body.
So like, am I just like?
I mean, it's good to move and give the intention, but just be aware of that and make that intentional. So
yeah, I think I just get super into it.
And you can. Okay, because sometimes I feel like you're also kind of marking the tempo with your upper body.
Yeah.
So just check that.
Yeah, that's a great point. Remember at the beginning of the semester, one of the analogies I used was one that my conductor gave me in grad school, which is the TV, right? So you're like a TV, and if you're watching a TV and the TV itself is moving, it's harder to see what's on the TV. Same with you and your frame as a conductor, right? So the more you move around, the harder it is for them to actually gather what you're doing here, unless it's intentional and connected movement, right? Okay. So that's a great point. Good, I think there's a lot of really good things. We only have a minute left. Let's go back to the beginning, and I'm really interested in that initial prep, like we were working with Maddie the other day. That initial prep, what is the sound you're looking for? Can the breath be the same? Because right now your breaths are similar throughout the whole thing. They're all kind of...
Yeah.
But what is the sound that you're looking for at the beginning?
Just like nice and like fading in.
Yeah, kind of, right? So the breath can that be, instead of, like this big, which I know that you as a brass player need to take that sort of breath, right? But to show them the style, right?
Yeah.
Be thinking a little bit differently about that kind of breath. Just the first maybe phrase or something.
Okay.
Yep. The breath was good, but then it was like, yeah. Can you do that same kind of breath, but be...
Am I close enough together too?
And in this case, of course, you have to start from your beat 2 position, which is going to be a little bit farther, so you can come in. But then can beat 2 be really connected to beat 3? So, as opposed to all kind of disconnected gestures. Okay. as you're working on this more is to take your left hand away now and again and see if you can make the feeling of that natural kind of painting go on with the baton itself. It's sometimes doing it, and sometimes I feel like the movement kind of stops at the wrist.
No, yeah, I can feel it like not moving as much as I want.
Yeah, and sometimes you do it really well, and other times not. So it's probably just you're thinking of a million things. But maybe isolate that and forget about everything else for a second, and just see if you can really get it to feel this way. Because it will make a difference at the beginning to do this. Bum-bee, this is not moving right. 1, 2, 3 versus bum-bee. Right, it makes it just feel so much more connected, and that will help with that idea of kind of pushing through space as well. Just imagine yourself painting a wall. Yeah, that's really, but don't overdo it, right?
Yeah,
you don't want to overcorrect. Okay, good, thank you. Piper Urban.